It's a fact that your clock has been triggered. You can neither pause nor put it back. You can neither accelerate nor decelerate time. Your power lies only in misusing it or making use of it. The worst thing ever implemented in video games is the revive option, whereby the hero can be revived whenever he's dead. This affects us on a subconscious level as we rationalize that there's also a revive option in real life, or say, we're so immersed in games and movies to a point that we've grown forgetful of our own mortality, yet in concrete reality, the hero always dies at the end. Although we have only so many days to live, Seneca claims that anyone has the ability to prolong his lifetime. There are two types of people, he said: the leisured, whose lifetime feels prolonged, and the preoccupied, who finds life very short. There exist a couple reasons to why the preoccupied live a short life. First and foremost, they own a small portion of their lives to themselves, constrained to do and restrained from doing, lost in tasks and duties, seemingly have no alone time to pause and reflect, and if they did, they'd be overly terrified to meet their worries and regrets. Quote, "Even when quiet alone, they are their own worst company," unquote. So they try to lose themselves, mindlessly rolling through the best trends, news and celebrity gossips, aiming for a dirty dopamine high. They frequently weigh on trivial matters like shaving hair that has grown overnight, disputing a waiter for bad service, or striking up arguments, contending to prove themselves. Vacations for them seem pleasurable, yet still haunted by agony as they question, how long will this last? If they hear about a new form of high-tech distraction coming out, they count the intervening days, wishing time would leap over to the anticipated event, so they can finally indulge in mindless consumerism, unworthy of their granted souls as they stuff themselves with countless amusements, soaking stimulus one after another to numbing. We're killing time, they say, or say, wishing time would stop, terrified and tired of tomorrow's busy work. Living is the least important activity of the preoccupied man. The preoccupied with their insecurities, with living up to people's standards, with minor issues, with serious commitments, with cooking themselves in the sun, with investing ample time in arguments, with proving they are right, with winning everyone's approval, with people they hate, and last but not least, with useless knowledge, abstract or impractical. So you must not think a man has lived long because he has white hair and wrinkles. He has not lived long, just existed long. In this quote, Seneca illustrates that a good life is measured by how exactly did you spend your lifetime and not by how much time you have spent living. It's crystal clear now that Seneca is criticizing the 9-to-5 rat racer, the indolent, the uncreative, the consumerist, and the purposeless as the lifeless ones. But nonetheless, he has also classified the rich as one of the preoccupied. Quote, "There will always be causes for anxiety, whether due to prosperity or wretchedness. Life will be driven on through a succession of preoccupations. We shall always long for leisure, but never enjoy it." In this one, Seneca alluded to how building businesses is a laborious task, yet the most miserable part about it is succeeding. Thereafter, you have to work harder to sustain your wealth, and thus life will surely seem short as you are still preoccupied. While going through the book, I couldn't help but question if the 9-to-5 guy and also the rich guy are both preoccupied, then who are the leisured ones? The leisured ones whose life is prolonged. He has the longest possible life simply because whatever time was available, he devoted entirely to himself. From what I understood, Seneca sounds like he's alluding to entrepreneurship. For the leisured, none a portion of his time lays under another's control. Live for yourself. At least try to escape the office, even if the odds are against you. As Thomas H. Huxley said, "It is far better for a man to go wrong in freedom than to go right in chains." But I'm afraid this business thing goes wrong, I hear you saying. And to that I say, what makes you think you're in the right? Who said that there's a right path anyway? One is imprisoned because he allows himself to follow. One is free, for he has the power to follow himself. And so he did. You visit this pile of earth once in a lifetime. Don't try to live it right. True north is what you think is right. Postponing your interests. Dude, I'm still young for starting businesses. I'm 25, you know? I'm still young for dating. I've never had a girlfriend before, but one day that will happen. I'm not ready yet. This belief leads us to an amply big point. What makes you think you're gonna live another day? Plan your work one day at a time. You don't know if you're gonna wake up the next day or not. A week ago, I had this excruciating nightmare where the same obscure scene keeps repeating itself over and over. The dream was dark, weird, irritating noises blasting out from all corners. It was lucid. I would wake up, get out of bed, thinking that it's actually over, but then I'd realize I'm still stuck inside the dream. It's one of those nightmares where you have to wake up several times until you finally wake up in actuality. After several waking ups, if you will, I finally managed to really wake up. I found myself sleeping in a very uncomfortable position. I felt this painful strain in the back of my head. The blood wasn't properly getting into my brain as it should. I woke up dizzy, feeling faint, barely able to stand up as I crawled out of bed to turn on the lights. Damn, that was one hell of a dream. I nearly died in my sleep, literally. Have you ever feared going to bed because you thought you would die if you sleep? It sounds silly and stupid, isn't it? But that was me a couple weeks after that nightmare. You don't know if you're gonna wake up tomorrow or not. You're not even in control of your heart rate. You could stop breathing at any moment. You could die at any moment. Start living immediately. Life is not tomorrow, not when you get that promotion, not when you get that degree or whatever. Life is right now. Start living. Mingle with like-minded people. The leisured are those who seek the company of great friends, wise men in books and in real life. Quote, as none of them will exhaust your years, but each will contribute his years to yours. For you will feel alive beside their presence, as each conversation adds on invaluable lessons to your life. You are wasteful of it when you stick around the infected, boasting, shaming, judging, criticizing, gossiping. Reading. The ones whose life is prolonged are those immersed in the practice of freedom, in contribution, and in studying matters that matter. Reading is not only a knowledge-soaking process, for you are converting the author's years of experience to yours. The years he spent in the company of other wise men, who themselves mingled around great men. Hence, absorbing wisdom from books is another way to build a life full of lives. Legacy is another great way to transcend mortality. Leave out insightful work to be remembered for. Seneca claims that philosophers are free from the curse of time. They are dead indeed, yet still live through their books. If you leave a legacy, you will die, in fact, yet remain intact in the minds of others. Your creative work will echo years after your death, documented and passed on from one generation to another. Your soul will continue to live through your work as it continues to impact countless lives till the end of time.